One of the things that's been lost in guitar building specifically over the years, electric guitars, with the big manufacturer, fit and finish and attention to detail.
We are the last U.S. company that still builds totally, truly custom USA guitars. Someone can come through our shop and tell exactly what they want, and we make it happen.
What we do, more oftentimes than not, it's very personalized for that artist.
Well, I've been with Dean Guitars since '97 now. I wanted to get like some graphics done on it just for my personal use. And they were like, hey, why don't we do, get your own signature? That'd be kind of cool.
We'll bring him here, and we'll go back in our custom shop with Dan Russell and the boys, and we'll make it by hand while he's here and say, okay, I like the feel of this neck. Okay, let's take some off here. Let's change this. Let's change that.
It's got the specs of my neck, which is more, it's in between like a shredding guitar, but it's got that kind of more, Les Paul shaved down feel to it. The weight of it and the balance of it is everything about it, especially for metal, and it's a perfect guitar, I think.
We have a variety of different people, of course, that work at Armadillo, but the people specifically related to the building, manufacturing, and artistic creation of every guitar, I mean, these people are, in the most pure sense, artists.
The same guys build Dave Mustaine's guitars, that build Dimebag's guitars, that build all these guitars, that build the guitars that go to stores. So we don't have a secret shop that only builds the elite guitars for the artists. The same guys, same sanding, same painters, same assemblers, same everything. So this is Dan Russell. He's our master builder back here. What's up, Blair? He's doing a process that's called setting the neck. So the guitar is obviously made in two pieces, the body and the neck. You can see there's a lot of geometry here. He's taking some measurements, making sure the strings are going to line up with the center line of the neck. The neck is right, left to right. It's where it's supposed to be. Still, again, a lot of hand work. It's just hand clamped. There's nothing magical about it. This is actually a Shanker model guitar. I can tell by the binding. So you can imagine how much love and care goes into these things. And if one piece is wrong, it's no good. So it's very important, especially in this stage, that all the geometry's right. Otherwise, it won't function properly. The strings won't line up, and we're kind of screwed. So now we've come to the Dean USA assembly shop. What happens in here is the guitars get final assembly after they've been built in the wood shop and gone through the paint process. This is where they come and get all the finishing touches done. This is what makes the guitar actually play. Strings are put on, electronics are put in, frets are leveled, all those things. This is one of the things that separates Dean Guitars from almost any other manufacturer, is that these three craftsmen back here make this thing play like no other guitar on the planet, period. Our setup crew, they hand play test every instrument before it leaves this building. It doesn't matter if it's $199 or $10.99, it doesn't matter. They do visual inspections, they do play tests, they check for finish flaws, they make sure that these guitars are the best they can possibly be before they leave our facility. Before it gets in anyone else's hands but ours, these guys give them rigorous testing. Our artist roster is very impressive.
It definitely caters towards the edgy, rock, metal, kind of maverick, rogue type of vibe.
You've got guys like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, obviously Dimebag, Michael Amott from Arch Enemy, Eric Peterson from Testament, all the guys in Jackal, and those are kind of like our legacy artists, and now we're growing the roster to younger bands like Devour the Day and Pierce the Veil. But we're equally as excited about all the local bands in Tampa that also play Dean. Bands like Crush Tone, Jerry X, and Soul Circus Cowboys, to name just a few.
My father, originally, before the Thoroughbred days, before Dean, before Armadillo, before all of this, he was a passionate musician. He was a phenomenal bass player, grew up playing in bands, and at some point woke up one morning around 2021 and said, well, can't really make a living doing this, so I better figure it out. And he took that initial passion of playing and transitioned it into a passion for the same industry, the same people, and the same products, and just kind of repositioned himself to be a manufacturer, a wholesaler, and a business person related to that industry. Thoroughbred was actually originally based in Tampa, had a store on Hillsborough Avenue. It had its flagship store not long after that at Kapok Pavilion in Clearwater, and then they expanded into Sarasota as well as into the southeast region outside of the state of Florida as well. I think that my father was very visionary and very futuristic in a lot of what he saw and thought. I think that that greatly paid off, and he was able to rebuild a company that was, at the time, defunct, had no revenue, no inventory, no assets, nothing to its name other than Dean and other than a select few different trademark shapes. And at that point, took it from literally nothing and built it back up into its peak year, almost a $40 million company.
Evan's father, Elliot, he's the one that brought me in the fold, 21 years ago. And now it's very inspiring to see Generation 2 with Evan now take the reins and the philosophies that he brings, which now ups our game that much more.
My vision is to build that brand back up into something that is perceived as a top-notch brand. Every guitar we put out has to make a consumer, has to make an artist feel like that's the last guitar they ever need to play and they ever need to have in their entire life.
So we're all proud to be here, so I'm glad to welcome you guys here on the tour too. So take a look at the place, have some fun.
I'm astonished that the factory tour generates so much interest in our guitars and that people end up being owners of Dean guitars and subsequently joining DOA. DOA is the Dean Owners Association. Especially if you're local, you got to come in and check this place out. It's absolutely amazing.
If you do opt to come in and visit us and take a tour of our facility, you will see everything top to bottom of what we do, from our warehouse where we store product, to our setup line, to the wood shop, to the USA assembly shop. You'll get to see our artist room where we bring in some of our top tier artists from all around the world to test out different guitars and drum kits. You'll get to see all our displays here, some memorabilia especially from Dave Mustaine and from Dimebag Darrell, some of his last sketches by hand, the stage clothes he was shot in tragically, his guitars that he was playing at the time. Everything that we do and that we have here, nothing is off limits. It sounds a little cliche, but the best way to track our company down is to either go online and look up Armadillo. You can look at every model that we offer, D-Drum, Luna, and Dean. But if you ever did want to come by, call that phone number and we're more than happy to take you on a tour. The irony is it all came full circle. Towards the end of his life, it all kind of came back to him where as he grew the Dean brand and as he assembled an artist roster and as he rebuilt this company into what it is today, he was offered the opportunity to play with some of his iconic legends, some of his idols, some of his role models when he was growing up. He got the opportunity to go out on tour with them, play with them, and be the bass player that he always wanted to be. So it's kind of a neat story where everything did come full circle there, from going from the passion of wanting to play to the reality of not being able to provide a living doing so, to then, being able to do both.